It's 7 o'clock. We're calling the meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, staff reports.
Before we get there, can I just introduce two new faces at the table for the staff?
Sorry, I should have done that.
No worries. Peter Series, our new superintendent of the golf course.
Yay.
And Jalen Brown is our interim director of Parks and Recreation.
All right.
Woohoo!
I'm sorry, you said interim?
Yep.
Okay.
I have to do really well the next 6 months. And then I don't have to do well anymore.
Then you're out of work.
I'm sorry, your last name, Caitlin?
Brown, like the color brown.
Thank you, Anthony.
Why is that? Why is there a 6-month probation?
We can talk about it afterwards.
Bob?
My turn?
Well, you're the pro.
Okay, hello everyone. Not too much to report. I think demand is continuing to be overwhelming almost. Any day it's not raining, which isn't all that much lately. We sell out every time. We've had stretches where people will be calling and saying the detox system is broken because there's not a single available for 5 days.
We've been through that.
So it's awesome. It's awesome. The spring program's all just wrapped up. We'll get into our summer youth program coming up. Outings are coming to the end. We do have one next Monday and then one in July, but then we kind of stop until September. Besides that, I really don't have too much else.
The practice area and court line?
The lockers are still in
Or
the
is that their,
The lockers are still in the way.
oh, they
To
are?
produce that. We're ready to go once we get those lockers out of there.
Yep, just waiting on DPW to get up here and move them.
So we make note of that in our notes about DPW's performance? Bob?
I mean, that was the same comment last month, if I remember.
It was.
No, I realize it's out of your hands. It's frustrating.
That's about it. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's good.
How many days were we closed on in May?
I think fully closed, 3, but
At
10 effective.
stretches,
Yeah, I
yeah.
would say 10
like
effective.
half days and,
Yeah,
afternoons and,
Yeah. I kind of looked through and I go by dollars, and there was
Yeah,
a few that were low, a couple wipeouts, and I would say about 10 days were effective.
we would
Still
say
pretty
that.
good. How strong the demand is.
Yeah, isn't that a lot?
It is, I mean, it's been a historic rain.
Yeah,
Mhm.
15 straight Saturdays to break.
We got, yeah, Peter in there and,
Yes, there's been a lot of rain, but the demand stays strong, they're coming from the rain.
and
Of course, they keep going for another week.
Mike asked about the practice area too. Oh, we only asked about the one here, you asked me.
I was asking about the one in the cardboard. What about the one
Short game area, I feel like we're making progress. We're taking the fill from the cart path project and using that up there. Pretty much got an architect going, so I feel like we're moving in the right direction there.
What's your timing?
Oh, I don't know, that's tough for me.
Do
I would think so, right?
we have a final plan for what we're gonna do there?
We have an architect who's doing our plans, yeah. I would say, I'm familiar with Tashua's short game area. It's a very similar design, about 40% bigger.
Cool.
So that design is not done yet? It's a process?
Earl wrote it, I don't think we've, decided if his contract's good or not yet, but,
Okay, thank you. Anthony?
Galen?
Galen? I don't know if I was putting it on the spot yet, but,
Oh, of course.
We're gonna take the training wheels off. Here we go.
okay.
So just, I think everyone has this information in front of them, but just looking at rounds, this May compared to May of '24, we are down. Season passes, we're almost in line exactly with where we were last year in May. The resident IDs are down compared to last year. The income is substantially higher, and that's driven by our driving range. I did notice, though, we flagged the complimentary rounds did seem to be up. I wasn't sure if that was from like giveaways or tournament play.
90% of the complimentary rounds are from high school golf. So I think it's typical when we have more matches, high school golf, more matches versus away versus home.
Where are complimentary rounds on here? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Right here up top.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. Wow, okay.
And they're up slightly, but they were like 1,000 more than that a couple of years.
Yes, they used to be off the charts.
We much only very higher high school golf. And there's like a lot of pros and.
So when you say high school, you mean for tournaments or?
No, they play home matches here.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually every home match, we have 2 high schools playing, so every home match is 20 kids, yeah.
They're on 9 holes, right?
Yeah, they just play.
And they practice too, right?
Yeah, they have, the practice round counts.
Count too.
I think the change in having the men and ladies high school be in the fall and spring has helped regulate the flow of complementary rounds.
And looking at par 3 performance, again, we are down compared to last year, May, there's some rounds, and income, and again, that's largely due to weather factors.
Just two of the things of note that I'd like to chime in on, driving range, obviously, I think we were just over $80,000 for the month of May. We're tracking probably a little higher than that for June again. Even the weather hasn't really stopped that. And what we're noticing up there, and I'm sure you guys can speak to it as well if need be, a younger crowd. Took my 2 girls up there, teenage girls, and we played for about an hour, hitting balls in the bay, and just there were tons of kids that age group that were up there on Saturday. And I see it on, all the time up there, but it's great for the game.
Yeah.
And then cart paths, the update from George was we're in the slow part of the process. If all goes well, they should have the rough grading and widening of the paths done by the end of next week, weather permitting, and then start the final grade and paving right behind that. So we're making good progress on it.
Now, last month you said end of June, you think they'd be done, what are you thinking now?
I would say now we're probably,
Mid to late July.
well, I think we're still end of June.
Good.
I think we're still in June. I think about where we were in the month, but yeah, I think we're still 2 to 3 weeks, so.
See,
Does all the prep work and digging up of the old paths have to be completed before you start the new?
Yeah, okay. Which they'll do hopefully by the end of next week.
So we'll see asphalt going down in a week or 2.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, in June.
And is there anything that Pete has to do with his crew to, on the sides to
Yep.
blend them in?
And I can let you more than welcome to speak, because I know you've done some drainage work and stuff before they, when they're grading it now, so we've got things in place proactively to help. But speak to that, please.
Yeah, so we've installed, I don't know here, but I think it's 9 or 10 20-foot sections of drain under, areas that we think we're gonna need drainage in the future. So they'll be we're putting these under the cart paths now, so in a year or 2, we don't have to cut fresh cart paths.
I guess I'm more concerned about, they lay this 8-foot path of tar, and, a 1.5 to 2 feet either side.
Yeah.
Do you have to come back and get your guys to do that?
Yeah, we'll do that, we'll backfill. Yeah, it'll be a lot, and it'll be tough to get the ground to take, the seed, especially with carts going off the path over the seed. It's kind of one of those things you just have to really stay after it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
stay after it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Steve.
All right, I'm Pete Garnin, I'm the new superintendent. I worked for Pete Grace for 10 years, and I've been in the business for 40. So I'm happy to be here. I want to thank Anthony first for the opportunity and all the help getting acclimated, and the same to Bob for all your help. Bob takes care of everything, scheduling and communicate a lot, giving us a lot of time to get our extra work out there. Orders our trash bags and our toilet paper, which is a huge relief, let me tell you, it really helped me out. also John's not here, but, my foreman, John Johnson, got fired 3 bailed us out a few times. And, thank you, my crew too, they're great, thank guys.
Are you fully staffed now, Pete?
I don't know, not
What
quite.
about the budget?
No,
No?
no, he's down his position, his former position.
Okay.
And we're down the new labor, which we couldn't start till July anyway. So the new labor wasn't posted today, it will be posted this week. We're working on backfilling Pete's old spot, and we'll see how the dominoes play out there. So, yeah.
Do we count the lack of a mechanic that's being down one person,
No.
or is that also taken out?
No, because the administration's
We don't
not
have-
filling in, so, yeah. That's a-
But, so, there's no chance of getting a mechanic?
That's correct. The administration said absolutely not.
Is it a floating mechanic at least, or are you still getting the town floater?
The first selectman's office. We have the DPW floating mechanic who we actually had to rely on recently. And it actually, believe it or not, worked out well,
Oh, really?
to our surprise. We were able to make a call and get them up there, but again, John Johnson also was a key to help.
To be honest with you, Anthony, the floating mechanic, DPW guy, nice guy, does not know where he's going for on the golf course.
Right.
John bailed him out.
Anthony, is there any,
So I think we're gonna find that a lot with the floating mechanic.
is there any way or process to go back to the first selectman and say, given the amount of revenue that the driving range is producing, might you not find room for him again?
Nope.
Okay.
What's the
I'm sure you
trade-off?
cost it, I think it's one of the.
What's the trade-off between a mechanic, the cost of a mechanic versus a replacement for Pete Carney?
Can there be a working,
I mean, there's a body out there somewhere that I'm trying to understand
Yeah,
why Gerber is
Pete's
fighting it.
Pete's position, I'm not saying Gerber is fighting, I'm saying his administration, but it's many people in his administration that,
Understood.
so I don't think it's fair to say Bill, but, it is his administration. But, Pete's role was foreman, which I think is probably a crucial position here. So I don't think that's the one to repurpose. Doesn't mean we couldn't look at repurposing, when that one gets filled, the position behind it. The administration may be in favor, and Pete and I have had that conversation, of maybe we can tinker with the one behind it. But I have to see how that plays out first. If there is another spot, meaning we have, I'll just say, we have Edson. If Edson was to take Pete's spot internally, that would open up Edson's spot, and then maybe Edson's position could then be reconfigured for potentially a mechanic. It wouldn't,
Eddie,
That would be our hope.
Eddie,
That's the Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us.
I didn't know it was Ed Gerber, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry,
You said
That sounds like a
mechanic
good
was
plan.
Responsive, but not skilled in the way.
Well, he's a great auto mechanic, he's a great dump truck mechanic, and, you know, we have, it takes a, to go with that.
Give him a cut some greens, and maybe, you know.
And he was willing, and he was polite, and he came right up. It's just a different skill set that,
That's encouraging.
yeah, oh yeah, great guy, and I have his number now, and we'll be calling him a lot. So anyways, thank you to everybody, and, I guess the state of the golf course, is kind of want that, going back to the weather, heavy rains have, really, caused some shallow rooting in our greens and tees and fairways. It's not something we don't see every 4 or 5 years, it's just something we should be aware of going into the hot summer, might affect our green speed a little bit, we're gonna have to be a little more cautious on our double cutting, our vertical grooming, our top dressing. Just keep it in the back of your mind. So we're aware of it, we're monitoring it, and, we would have liked to have, like, top dressed a couple of weeks ago, but the weather was a little too stressful, and the roots are really shallow because they just sat in water all spring, and they really couldn't breathe. So that's kind of where we are, waiting for some better weather. Spring's almost over though, so before we know it, we're gonna be in the hot summer, and we're just gonna be hanging on till fall. Let's see, third tee, so the sod went down the third tee, and, that also, drained well, but it was only surface drainage. We had to pitch from left to right, front to back. It all worked very well. We had so much rain that sod sat in water. Sod wasn't the highest quality that we wanted either. We did go back, we made amends, the company made amends to us. But in the meantime, the sod just wasn't that good, it took a long time to take, so we're still a couple weeks out of opening that up. But we've aerated it a couple times, we'll probably aerate it one more time. And, it'll be fine, it's just gonna take much longer than we so please be patient with that. 6 bunkers finally open, and we'll go back in about a week or two, we'll see how the sand is settled. It should be around 4 inches impacted, for the kind of soil we want. So that plays, you know, no Friday glides, not too soft, not too hard. So let me know, how you like it.
Does anybody, I've been here a couple of weeks, has anybody played out of?
I have.
My husband has, don't go in bunkers very often, and he's had some Friday glides in there.
Happy?
Yeah.
I don't have it.
I had 3 people reach out to me saying they love it. I've been in there a couple times.
It's much different sand than we're used to here, so
Right.
now, the problem we have now is, you know, we've created one great bunker,
One out
hopefully,
of 30, yeah.
out of
We got
42,
42 more to go.
and, you know.
The good news.
Yeah.
This was the whole point, the whole purpose of doing the one.
That's it.
Do we like this thing? So, again, I haven't heard anybody that hasn't liked it, but if there
I
is.
don't think you can really opine on it for another month or two, so.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna take a little while, so,
Are you soliciting feedback on that?
that's what we'd like. So it's still active, and it's still gonna take time, and also as we move forward, yes, it is a different kind of stand, it's more expensive stand. I think we really need to look at, as a maintenance operation, is limiting factors of our bunkers. Is it the sand, or is it how we maintain them? So I think it's probably a combination of both, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to change out all our sand, because it's pretty exclusive sand, pretty expensive, if we don't maintain them properly. So let's get our ducks in a row, let's make sure we like it, and then let's make sure we can maintain it. Maintain it means we have to regularly twice a week, probably 3 times a week. Right now, we don't do that, we don't have the man hours. We don't put that as a higher priority moving forward, and we have to have a discussion and move it up in our priority chain.
Now, have we done that bunker with the old sand? How much less would it have cost?
You know, I think the older stand was about 50% less.
It was about half of it,
About
what we spent?
Yeah, but that's a ballpark figure. and I
And
have
if
to
we look
check
at
that.
it course wide, wow.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah, on the other hand, you know, it is a lot of money for one,
The big bunker.
one bunker. It is a big bunker. As we know, everything is expensive. I go out with, spray on our fairways, and that's $3,500. And I do that every 3 weeks or every month. So there's nothing about golf or life that's inexpensive.
But when we looked at the 10-year plan and replacing 42 bunkers, I think you spread that over 10 years.
There you go.
Not nearly as
Well, the sand's always there.
Not that I want to take 10 years to do all the bunkers, but
Yeah, for 400,000 in a 10-year.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, yes, it is expensive, but everything else is expensive too. So, at least with the sand, you have a material that's gonna be there for a long time. Where when I spray and it's effective for a month, and it can be just as expensive. And then the next month I have to go out and spray again. So,
350.
there's really no inexpensive ways to do it.
That's really worth capital expenditure. It is an operating expense.
True, yeah. Getting back to the cart path and drainage, so the drainage sections, the catch basins have been installed this spring in anticipation of the cart path paving project. 6-hole, 9-hole, 10-hole, and 12-hole, 2 on the 14th hole, 1 more planned for the 14th, and 1 more planned for the 16th. So that's to move water underneath the cart path when the cart paths go in. They're lined now, though, they're not set up to any other place. They're for future plans, future consideration. They've taken a lot of time to do, and it's kind of, slowed us down on all our other projects. 8 Ladies Tea hasn't gotten done, other things, a lot of them haven't gotten done. Because we've had about 225 man-hours putting those drainage things in.
Are those the corrugated pipes that we see like on 5, where you
Exactly.
straddle the path and
Yeah.
letting the water go?
Yeah, right. So all we have now is 2 catch basins, there's a water, pipe underneath those, go into the catch basins, but they don't go anywhere else.
Right.
But we put them in strategic locations, so eventually we'll tie drainage in.
Good idea.
But it has really negated or stalled our
You run
progress.
it into the pond in front of the 4th tee.
Pardon me?
Run it into the pond in front of the 4th tee.
We don't, so we
the 840, you know, it has been installed. But our detention resources have been used on the cart path and on the drainage, and on the 13. So, but it's moving up the ladder. It'll be a higher priority. We got to it last week. We'll get to it this week. That's how it is, I guess. So for the rest of June and July, we're really looking at tidying up our plans moving forward, tidying up our projects that we've already started. I don't know if everybody's noticed, but we have a lot of messy areas up there. We've done a lot of drainage last fall, and this spring we just dumped a lot of fill out there. So we'll be trying to clean up what we started before we start any new project.
What's the patch to the right of 5 fairway, the patch of grass?
Exactly what that is. That's just some soil and sod that we dug out when we were making a drain, probably, I don't know where we got it, on a location not too far from there.
Okay.
That might have been the sod off the 13.
So the cart path is going to the right of 5, is that right?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Will that take out that clump of grass? or-
We hope to get to that independent of the car path.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Areas like that, we have quite a few of them on the golf course. We want to finish those up, we want to neaten those up, clean them up, make them look like a golf course again. They were dumped there last fall, we didn't have anywhere to put them.
And the right of 17, that pile of rocks, the
Same
same
thing.
drill?
Same thing, right. But
And where did all that fill come from, I'm sorry?
all our drainage on 13 as
Got it,
well.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we just want to clean up what we started.
And is there a time,
Yeah.
pardon me, Pete, your predecessor was here, and Peter did a great job. I was constantly asking for a sort of list of projects and estimated timeframes. And we're not in a position to tell you how to do your job, because you know how to do it best. But I would love to know, like, for future.
Yeah.
You know, is the right of 5 going to be a week or 2 months? And not that you know
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But those kinds of things would be really cool to know.
Right.
If it's okay to do it, if you're comfortable doing it. And
Yeah.
we're not holding you accountable, we're
Right.
trying to understand, people ask us questions.
Right.
What's going on here? And I'd love to be able to tell them.
Right. I think what I can say is, the 8 Ladies Team will be our first priority. We still need, some material to come in, and then those areas are our next priority. I can't tell you exactly how.
No, I don't want it today.
But I would hope by this time next month, or the next meeting, that we've, probably addressed half of those areas. Successfully got them graded out, overseeded, and paved. But this is probably gonna last, the other half is probably gonna last until July.
Understood.
First off.
I think just knowing the order that you're attacking them.
Priority
is
list.
good, not necessarily a timeline.
Right.
I'm very happy to
Yeah.
hear that the 8 Ladies Tee, the
Yeah,
forward tee is next on the list.
yeah.
One last thing on the bunker key, how much does this thing cost?
Yeah, that's,
It was, $3,700 for a load, and that's about a load is a quarter.
That's all.
$25,000.
$5,000.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, it's not,
That's
we
not
did more
bad.
than we were spending, but it's not,
Yeah.
it's not crazy. I think we planned accordingly.
Good.
Yeah, you have almost 10 grand per bunker, like
Yes.
$9 grand, right?
That's great.
And I think we also kicked around, I don't know who was saying it, but at one point anywhere between 10 to 25,000.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, we were talking about redoing bunkers,
Yeah.
and luckily you didn't have to redo 6, so that's a win. Yeah, that's great.
So we also have, coming up this month, which we should also be mindful of, and I think this is probably why Pete always had trouble giving you definitive answers about how long something would take, because without a mechanic, something breaks down, everything stops. And looking forward to this next month, I have drills to grind, I have bed knives to grind, I have cutting units to put back together. We have so much catch-up mechanically, it's gonna stall everything else, and it's just how it is. We don't have any way around it right now. Our part-time mechanic is, not feeling well, and he hasn't been in about 3 weeks, and I don't know when he'll be back, or if he'll be back. He's done a great job for us on a part-time basis. But I've had, since May 12th, I tracked hours mechanically, I think we're at 211 as of today, 211 man hours in about a month that I've had to take a guy off my crew, or myself, or Edson, and put him on a mechanical duty. And, so it slows down everything. So I think this is probably where he's had a tough time.
Understood.
I think it did.
Yeah.
So Pete, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility of letting some of that mechanical work out to West Top? They can fix this up off-site?
We do deal with our vendors have mechanics, and they have traveling mechanics. The problem with Doyle is they work about 5 weeks out at minimum. So we have a machine that's stuck. You have to call them. They say, "Yep, you're on the schedule." Yeah, they say, "Is it a sprayer?" You say, "No, it's not my sprayer." "Okay, we don't need to be there tomorrow." We'll call you when we can get there. And so those are the options. We muddle through, and we usually do pretty well. John Johnson helped us out. The traveling mechanic came out. I can put 2 or 3 guys sometimes together, and we'll get it done. It just takes longer and it's much more unpredictable. And it's probably, there's no way financially it makes sense at all. But we're documenting it and moving forward, and like Anthony said, we're having these discussions. Nothing's gonna happen quickly, but maybe something eventually will happen. Aeration dates, for 2025, we're looking at the greens on Monday, 25, and Tuesday, 26. Then we're looking to do the fairways, second and third week in September, the 8th through the 19th. At the same time, we'll probably start doing the tees. We're looking at, working with John Johnson. John has a couple of areas down there that we can look at. We're looking at borrowing, I don't know if you remember aeration last year? Aeration, it was pretty disruptive.
Yes.
The golfers were very patient. So we're looking to change that operation a little bit, get it done a little quicker, maybe with a couple more machines. And maybe we'll also look at in the future, there are contractors that can come in and do it in a day or 2 or 3. I don't know that much about it, but that's something we can look at as we move forward. And so that's kind of what we're looking at, and kind of keeping in your back of your head moving forward next year. That's how my aeration schedule will go again.
Okay.
So it'll be fairways in September, tees in September, greens in August. Tees are kind of easy. I can kind of skip out if I get a bad tee here or there, get some done in play. But we'll make sure we do them all in the fall also.
Okay.
And we're looking at greens next year, 2026 on Monday, 8/17, and Tuesday, 8/8. I said it first, so.
Okay.
Okay.
So, thank you very much.
Just to make
I'm
it,
sorry that was so long-winded.
No, thank you.
just to make it even more complicated, is there any thought about any tree work the balance of the year?
Just looking forward to it. But yeah, I think there's much stuff.
Yeah, we still need to put a plan in there.
Yeah, we do. Yep.
Okay. Greens committee?
I have a question for Pete. There's the par threes, from the 4Ts where an awful lot of people play. So you get the 3 when the 4T's in the right place, in front of the back tee or the back of the 3, the tee and 8. It's 160 or 70 yards-ish. You get to 8, 160 or 70 yards-ish.
Yep.
You get to 12, 160 or 70 yards-ish.
Yep.
I'm just wondering, I hate to put the burden on you, but maybe it's you and Big. There's a way to fluctuate some of those tees to make a shorter or longer par threes. And I don't know if it goes to Biggs or for you.
So it's not the same
He
club?
just wants to
Yeah.
make them up a little bit more?
I would think it makes sense. 'Cause
Okay.
we always talk about, hitting the same golf club
Yep.
3 times.
Absolutely.
And Biggs, do you have any thoughts?
I think they're all similar length.
Yeah.
No, it's not something, but it would make it more interesting to have a shorter, a longer,
Yep,
maybe throw 8, throw the 14 in the back with the 5
yep.
from time to time.
Even if it was like a 10 or 15-yard difference, like a
Yeah,
plug.
it helps.
Oh, yeah, definitely, we're happy to mix them up. I think this spring, I've been reluctant to mix them up, because I've been trying to encourage the people that should be playing the 3, to play the 3.
Well,
So the 4s have been playing to the length of the card, closer. So that's why they're all about the same. Because what happens, a lot of people get to the first tee and they see that the 3s are too far up. And they're like, well, we can play the 4s.
yeah,
You know,
no,
I
you're
think really-
spot on. I don't argue
Well,
with that.
we're happy to mix them up, because that just gives me more team space, you know? We can make, you know, on any given day, we can, or somebody through the weekend, we can make sure we got one playing a little bit longer, one playing a little bit shorter, and then 2 playing it up to the card. And that way you can use it.
I think that'd be cool. Another question would be about out of bounds markers. I've seen more on 1. Is that your staff, or is that big staff, or I've seen more markers, which I think is great. We need that.
Actually, Mike, really helped us out with those out for us. We bought them, and he was gracious enough to spend a lot of time doing that for us.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Hey, Mike,
Good. That's long overdue. That's great. And we might need a few more, but that's awesome.
I didn't do anything, it was all Bob and stuff. I even asked for Mike help, he wouldn't take it.
Yeah, just Mike running through, he had some kind of funny spots there. We went out there, well, we're trying, yeah, we're trying.
No, look, I think more is better than less, clearly.
Can I go back to the tees for a minute, though?
Yeah.
For the forward tees, we don't ever want to move longer. They're too long for the most part as it is.
Okay. I don't have a lot of leeway in most of those.
I know, but I'm just, some of them you do, and I just want to make it clear
Okay.
that the women do not want them longer,
Sure.
especially not on like 16. You know,
Okay.
they're just.
Right.
That's why,
Yeah.
part of why we did
Do you
12.
ever find them that they're playing?
Yes.
Do you? Okay.
Yes.
Try to keep them up further. Not a problem at all.
Before I get to the Greens Committee report, I can't remember, Anthony, lightning detectors, where are we with that?
Like you were saying, we actually bought them, so it'll be installed
It'll be
hopefully in
installed.
the next couple of weeks.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Put up the list. Greens Committee, I have no issues,
Yeah, no,
no
great.
problems. I think you're doing a great job. Keep it up. I'll leave it at that.
All right, thank you.
Okay. And I've got nothing, because mine was the 8th tee. Part 3 committee?
Or 3.
Such as it is, I don't think, unless you have something to report.
Well, I played it twice since the last meeting, and of course it's beautiful. Greens are long, they're kind of hairy and slow, but I don't know if that's a function of the shallow roots or that's just how you grow.
It's a function of the people who play there.
I think that's exactly right.
So they will always be long.
That's a preference of the
It's a
people that
preference
play there?
because so many beginners,
Yeah.
if they made them fast, they'd never get out of there.
Yeah.
They might have been exceptionally long, I'll talk to John
Yeah,
tomorrow,
they're
but
really
they're
slow.
generally,
Compared to here, anyway, I guess.
they're always
Spoiled.
much slower than here.
I think there's a lot of choices.
How did you find the
Yeah.
pace of play?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was good, actually.
Good.
Yeah, well, we played a 5-10, 5-20, so, yeah. No.
I have another Greens Committee issue, I'm sorry, it's a small issue. We've been blessed here, thanks to Pete, I think, without having goose crap all over the golf course. And I've noticed a little more goose crap, and I don't want to bring up your poor pup that's no longer here. That may be part of the solution. But then you have noticed that, or is it me?
At here
Or goose stuff?
We did have probably ended about 10 days ago, we had a family of about 4 that we could not get rid of. And then about 10 days ago, I don't think I've seen them, I don't see
They checked out?
Yeah, but you're right, it was getting a little.
They went to
I was
part
getting a
3.
little- I was getting a little nervous, and,
I've never seen a goose crap on the green until
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Third grade?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they're hanging out, and, gosh, every time my dog would chase them, they just dive right to the pond. And, so then we actually came back in the evenings, a couple of evenings, and I let my dog out of
Well played.
the truck in the parking lot. We surprised them, and, so, yeah, we noticed that too. We didn't like it either.
So anything else about par three? We thought Page was good.
A lot of geese, a lot of geese,
Well,
and
there
a
are a
lot
lot
of.
of geese. Yeah, they are. Okay. Old business? I think we covered it all, right? New business? Does anybody have anything new?
Just to help me understand, I'm trying to understand, tea times for seniors, things, they have Wednesdays, Tuesdays, and ladies, I'm just
Just
trying to understand.
Wednesdays. Tuesday morning is 9 old ladies, they play off the back. Wednesday morning is senior men, they play off number 1.
Okay.
Thursday morning is 18 holders, they play off number 1.
And they go till about noonish, basically?
The seniors go to noon, the ladies go to like, the 9 old ladies go to 9:09.
Good.
We've actually
And, 10:48?
10:48 now.
10:48.
we closed our membership.
How many groups, Bob, are on those?
But you're full, right? Every tea time is taken?
Oh my God. They could tell.
I could tell.
They could tell another day.
The 18 holders.
They have 200 in their organization now.
We have 130, so
Those are all swelling.
There's- we have a
9
waiting
old
list.
ladies have 120.
we have a waiting list.
Could another name for them be senior ladies for the minutes?
What's that?
No, it's the 9 whole ladies and 18 whole ladies.
Oh, 9 whole
Nine whole
ladies. I thought you
No,
said.
it wasn't eight, it
9
wasn't
whole
eight.
ladies.
I would say that.
Sorry.
So yeah, the 18 whole league has a waiting list every week for the tea time, so it's full.
It's a balancing act.
It is.
Demand is extremely strong.
And the league, if you want to go down that path, the league at the par three has 115 members and
Really?
has a lot of tea times.
So if we're not meeting the demand, are we servicing the town?
If we're not meeting,
If
which
we're not,
demand?
meaning not meeting.
Well, if
Demand
there's
for all the
demand,
people.
if you need more tea time.
Yeah.
There's only really two things that you could possibly do, in my opinion. Well, one would be cut out the leagues and you open it up to the public. Two, you raise prices and the demand will
Goes away.
decrease.
But you know what it is, resident tea times are up and non-resident are down.
That's good.
And the non-residents are playing during the
Without the
time,
league,
which is not a revenue.
And
What
were you gonna say, without the league?
Without the league, our non-resident rate would be about 3%.
Yeah, the leagues are mainly
And
not.
the thing I hear all the time is that we need more non-residents around. If you didn't have the league, it
Wait,
would literally
I'm sorry,
be 90%,
The leagues are more non-resident?
No, compared to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Without the league, I'm telling you, you'd be running at 95%.
So the leagues help the non-resident.
We're pointing
Yeah.
out non-resident.
And as Andy will tell you all the time,
Wow.
it used to be we were trying to go 2/3 resident, 1/3 non-resident for revenue purposes.
So this is a revenue game, basically.
Well,
It's not a revenue
no,
game, it
Well,
just turns out.
well,
that's
the
what it is.
non-residents aren't, they lose a day of,
Yeah.
just one day of, access to.
Full day, where it used to be just 4 hours.
Right.
When we
That's
got
the
the four
difference.
up, they lost the whole day, which is why we don't have nearly as many non-residents playing the course as
Right.
we used to.
But even if it was 4 hours, they wouldn't be getting tea times now because the demand is so high.
There's so many residents waiting.
5:02 we're done.
5:02 we're done, so
If
it's
I'm
no
in,
different.
if I'm in the ladies or the seniors 18 hole, how do I get a tea time? I just put my name in and I get a tea time?
they got
or-
their own system.
We post
We have our
our
own
blocks 3 weeks in advance.
Really?
And people sign up, and then we manage it for the last 4 or 5 days before the day of play. We give Bob 8 days in advance, from 7, from this time to that time. And we give them, and we have names committed to that.
What do you have, a 3-hour block?
During,
You have a 3-hour block? What kind of block is it, 3 hours?
7:30 to 11:30.
Is there a limit on it now, Mike? It was like unlimited till it's been so full. Is there a limit? You did?
We no longer go past noon.
Okay,
And our shotguns, we've cut down to 80.
right.
Which
Which I think is a good idea, because people are just flocking to
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah,
tea
no.
times.
We've cut.
Otherwise, the general
we've
public will
closed
get nothing.
membership now.
Yeah, right, it's a great question.
We never had to do before, but we closed membership, we've truncated shotguns, and we've truncated
Right.
the block tea time block.
So the secret is to find the happy medium, that you keep those leagues full, and you get the non-resident population, yet you don't deprive the public of access after, 11 or 12, it's gonna be tough.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah. Now, we've got,
Don't think our model is
45.
We don't lose any tea time.
No, because
There's
if
no
we're not gonna,
shows, there's
No, the
no.
league's not.
We give them back.
It's tight. It's tight.
there's never any unused tea times in those blocks.
and we've got about 45 guys over 80 who are active players, something like that. I mean, it's really impressive how the old parts are getting out.
You need to send them to the old man league at the par 3, they need a few more members.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, Sarah. Think of it.
Okay. I had no communications, did you? No public? So
Because
it,
now our public is here.
right, our public is here.
Our public is now our.
And we lost Brian Daly for whatever reason, so,
I had an item, and now that you've mentioned public, when I walked last week, I noticed, and you probably noticed more than anybody, because you walk all the time, but the divots are just everywhere, not replaced. And I know we've talked about it at men's club meetings, at board of governor meetings.
What?
At the board of governor meetings, talking about making an awareness for people to replace their
We
divots.
sit there and walk, and we pick up divots, we replace them.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about putting it back in its original divot, because there's opportunity in front of you, right, 20
Last
feet.
Wednesday, I was in the first.
We did look at a bond.
Whoever the public was.
Or some communication to
And I
everybody.
think we both know who the hell they
it's
are.
not,
I don't know.
unfortunately, it's not generally the league members of people who play regularly.
Right.
So it's,
Any way to make people more aware?
How we can do more signage, I can sign the cards, I can definitely try it. It comes down to the player's personal responsibility,
Yeah.
and, we have a very wide variety of level of golfers here.
Yep.
And I've noticed directly correlation between under 20 handicappers putting their divots back and over 20 new golfers not quite understanding what to do. I think it's an education thing, and hopefully anyone you play with, you see them not put back their divot, you have the courage to say, hey, why didn't you put back your divot? And,
It's discouraging.
no one knows what to do.
Yeah.
It's discouraging to know that the vast majority of people that play here are residents and don't take care of the course. Yeah. You can almost forgive the non-residents because they don't have any skin in the game here.
Well, there's, and Bob, this is your call, but I would urge you to, when you have rangers out there, if they ever saw something like that, to urge them, tell someone to rake a trap or put a divot back. But would it make sense to put a sign up on the first tee as you're going down with your car, you're walking your bag down to say, I saw a great sign, I'll send it to you if I find it again. It's not imploring people, but suggesting in a very strong way that your responsibility is to replace divots, fix ball marks, keep up the group in front and rake traps. And I would love to see something like that we could put some teeth into the rangers to call people out if they don't do it. Now,
And a little card in the carts, like you said, every cart, you got just a little
it is,
something.
it's in the cards, it says replace your divot. Maybe the
is there a
Rangers,
sign on it?
yeah,
Where?
It's sitting right there as soon as you go. Got 2 legs on the bottom of the screen.
Is that the
White light,
double A? Yeah, Pete.
we could,
But I agree with you, more signage is a good answer, the more education we can do.
Or if the starters see a group they don't know and hint to them strongly, couldn't hurt. It's a big problem. It's always been a problem.
it's always a problem. I mean, not that we should dismiss it, but it is a problem.
I'd like to, if we could add, walking out the shallow face of the long net. That 6 hole was open for 6 hours, and we had two huge footprints going across the face.
Mm.
That's waiting for that edge to be,
Okay,
Well, in state.
we had to rebuild 12 after,
Yep.
10 days after we put the plywood out as well. So,
How's 12 doing?
the bunker,
Seems okay.
it seems okay. It was a really good Band-Aid, I call it. I think it has a nice shape to it now. I think that edge is gonna hold as long as we walk the face of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know if a sign would help. I don't think people really read signs.
I don't think they read them, I think it's people just not knowing golf course etiquette.
Yeah.
And
They're,
all you can do is tell people.
they're in the panic
People are
of the
also
rain
excited
shot.
to play, too. They come off that first tee in that car at like 90 miles an hour. They're just happy, and they're just not thinking about, they're not thinking about all the little things that they should be thinking.
But we could probably have the rangers point out the divots.
More eyes on
When
it,
they see
it's
them.
good, yep.
Okay. It is now 8:46,
I know we adjourned.
7:46, I mean. Okay, somebody second it?
Second.
You guys all have